In example 2, we are going to look at three functions: g of x equal to 5, r of x equal to negative 4x to the third, and j of x equal to 5x plus 3. In letter A, we want to find g of 6. In order to do that, we are going to use our g of x function. G of x is equal to 5. There is no x value or variable over here on the right, which means this 5 can never change. There's nothing to multiply, add, subtract, or divide. So if I want to find what g of 6 is, g of 6 has to be 5. If, for instance, I wanted to find, let's say, g of 10, well, again, since this is a constant function, g of 10 would also be 5. If I wanted to find g of 100, g of 100 would also be 5. So anything is going to be 5 if we're using g of x because it's a constant function. In letter B, we want to find r of 2. So we will plug that in to our r of x function. So we can take negative 4 times 2 and raise that to the third power. 2 to the third power is 8, so we have negative 4 times 8, and negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. In letter C, we want to find j of negative 7, so we're going to come to our j of x function over here and plug in negative 7. So we get 5 times negative 7 plus 3. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35 plus 3. And negative 35 plus 3 would give us an answer of negative 32. Now in letter D, we want to find g of 4 minus r of 6. In order to do that, we're going to find each of these separately, starting with g of 4. If I find g of 4 is equal to our constant function, which was 5. Then I need to find r of 6. R of 6 I'm plugging into my r function, which would be negative 4 times 6 to the third. If I plug that in my calculator, I get r of 6 to be negative 864. Then what I want to do is I want to subtract those two values. So I'm going to take the 5, and I'm going to subtract negative 864. So I get 5 minus negative 864. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding, so I get a total of 869. In the next part, I rewrote the functions for us again on the back side of the sheet. So we're looking at those same three functions. What I want to do now is I want to find j of 0 plus r of negative 3. So I need to start with my j function, and j of 0 is going to be equal to 5 times 0 plus 3. Since 5 times 0 is 0, adding 3 to that, this is 3. Then I need to find r of negative 3. R of negative 3 is negative 4 times negative 3 raised to the third power. If I plug this into my calculator, I get 108. And then what I want to do is I want to add those two together. So I'm going to take 3 and add it to 108, which would give me 111. Now in letter F, I have three things that I'm going to do. I'm going to take g of negative 7, subtract r of 5, and add j of 9. I would like you to try to do that one on your own. So press the pause button and try it, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your work. Okay, if you did this one, if you check it out, you should have gotten g of negative 7 to equal 5. You should have had r of 5 to equal negative 500. And you should have gotten j of 9 to equal 48. And your final task then is to take the g1, which was 5, subtract the r, so subtract negative 500, and then add j of 9, so add the 48. And if you do that, you get an answer of 553.